Hello again. God bless. God bless everybody. That's why we're here. I want to talk a little bit today about a subject that I call three chakra politics. And I'm very concerned about what's happening in the world. In my own country, we see people living on the street. Some nights when it's freezing, I worry that they're going to die of hypothermia. And at the same time, our government give tax cuts to corporations. Clearly, corporations are monsters that humanity's created. Corporation is a group of people with a purpose, which is to make profit, and they're answerable to the shareholders. But in a sense, the corporation is different from the people that run it. The corporation has no soul. It will replace any member of the corporation that fails, or any, if the chief executive officer has a heart attack and dies, they just get rid of it, get rid of him, get a new one in. The corporation will persist, and it in a sense it eats people. That's what corporations do, and some of the corporations are so big they're more powerful than actual elected governments. And so we've got these soulless powers at work in the world, and as a result ordinary people are suffering. I was getting very, very angry about some of the leaders that we've got and how they're making these decisions that completely lack any compassion. And then I started to think, but who voted for them? And as you know, I've been meditating for 32 years in this life. And over the last year or so, I've been given guidance by two spirit guides. Yeshua is one of them, which is Yeshua is Hebrew for Jesus, and the other one is a Lemurian ascended master, female, Leon Ha, her name is, which is in a sense mother of Lemuria. I got interested in Lemuria recently. There's a lot of things about history of the planet that don't seem to make any sense until you look at the evidence, and the evidence is that humanity's been around a lot more than 30,000 years. But the real problem at the moment is that humanity's in a process of ascension. So when I started doing my meditation 30 years ago, nobody explained to me what a chakra was, or how it works, or how it affects us. My own training is in Chinese medicine. I work with Qi, which is energy. So I know the universe is made of energy, and the energy has got a kind of consciousness to it as well. But I've recently got interested in chakras, and apparently we have 7 chakras. It's easy to find if you want to download pictures on the internet. There's dozens of them. I won't show that because it's probably got a copyright on it, but that's my reference point. So there are 7 chakras. There's the base chakra, which is red. The colours go up according to the colours of the rainbow. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, and violet, gold light, etc. So the bottom chakra is concerned with fear. Is concerned with survival, and it gets blocked by fear. In the Course in Miracles, there's lots of the lessons that take us through that chakra and unblock it. In spite of this, I'm still a child of God. You go through things that you don't like, things that you regret, and then you answer it with, in spite of this, I'm still a child of God, which is the creation, source of creation. The next one deals with pleasure, and that gets blocked by guilt. That's orange in colour. Next one is willpower, and it's yellow, and that gets blocked by shame. Then we move into the higher realms and into the heart chakra. That's green, and it is blocked by grief. The next one is in the throat, and it is blue in colour, and it's blocked by lies. The next one is the third eye, or the brow chakra, and it's indigo, and it's blocked by illusions. And then the final one, the crown chakra, is it's golden light, it's violety, and it's blocked by ego attachment, and it's our connection to the universe, it's our connection to the divine and then the source of creation. Okay, so what we've got on the world at the moment is a need to ascend. Collectively, we're electing people that represent the lower three chakras, and we stay stuck in the lower three chakras every time we watch the telly, every time we read a newspaper. All the media is designed to keep us in the lower three chakras. Now, what's the purpose of that? Well, the lower three chakras are to do with survival, and they're blocked by fear. So fear says you shouldn't be here, you don't have a right to live, something's going to take it away. Those people, those foreigners across the border, they will take your life away. They'll cut your throat while you're sleeping. Now, this is the kind of rubbish that we get in the media. Projecting. I remember before Britain voted to leave Europe, the newspapers went completely turbocharged into reporting a terrorist incident at least 3 times a day. There would be, you know, to anybody that read the papers, it projected the idea that you can't trust anybody from anywhere else, and you can't trust anybody here, especially if they're wrong colour. But it's all done very cleverly. So what happens is, as your energy, your kundalini energy, which is your soul energy, starts to rise, as your heart starts to lift, so to speak, and you start to get closer to feeling love or compassion, the newspapers say, no, that's dangerous, ignore love, get back down there, get into fear. So they plug us back into fear. Then the pleasure is the second chakra, and it's tied up with creativity and sexuality, and there's a lot of guilt around it. So the idea is that if we're good Christians, for example, we're not supposed to enjoy anything except singing hymns, and normal stuff is wrong. So what's happened is, as a result of making normal pleasures wrong, we've got really warped industries like the sex industry, the porn industries come up because sex was made wrong. I see an epidemic of obesity. People are overeating is unregulated, so people are doing it to the nth degree, and I'm seeing people that are the shape of a kidney bean these days. You know, the stomach is much bigger than the chest, and you know, type 2 diabetes is on its way. This is what happens when you mess around with, you know, creation, when you make certain parts. If you try to edit out certain parts of nature, this is what happens. Now, the media actually make money out of this, so they'll sell us the forbidden things, and they keep plugging us into fear again. So, you know, looking at porn and stuff is definitely wrong. You're not supposed to. There's the guilt. The guilt makes you feel God won't love you, so you go back down into fear. Now, God is experienced through the crown chakra. It's through ascending. It's rising above. It's when the dove of peace lands on you that you have that connection. But the ego and controlling the media doesn't want us to do this. So then we have willpower, which is the yellow one in the center. And willpower tells us, I want to make a plan, I'm going to have this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to achieve, I'm going to... And it's blocked by shame. So the media tells us you're going above your station, you're not supposed to do that, you should be content. You know, your bosses get paid 1,000 times what you get paid, but that's because they're better than you. Don't go above your station. You know, this was popular in the Victorian age, but it's come back. The ultra-right wing that we've got ruling the planet at the moment have brought it back. And they want to keep us in the lower 3 chakras. Because immediately you move into the heart chakra, you start to feel love. And love is connected to compassion. It's connected to generosity. It's connected to expansiveness. And if enough people move into the heart chakra, the electromagnetic field that they give off actually influences other people around them. When somebody joyful walks into a group, the whole group is lifted. This is how Jesus did it when he came 2,000 years ago. He naturally gave off so much love that people wanted to follow him. And because he spoke for love, he spoke lovingly, and that's without exception. Love is always without exception. It has to be unconditional, or it's not love. But the media and the powers that be, they don't want us to feel that. So they tell us, oh, you can't trust these people. So-and-so trusted these people, and they got their throat cut, and they had their heads chopped off, and they had their hands chopped off, and they had horrible things done to them. The reality on injury to the body is that I read somewhere, I don't know whether this is true, but it sounded pretty likely that more people have bad accidents or fatalities with lawnmowers than gun wounds. I mean, not in a case of war, but in civilian times, you know, the chances of actually being attacked by a terrorist is down to about as likely as you're going to be hit on the head by a comet. It does happen, and I'm sad if anybody gets hurt. But realistically, crossing the road is more dangerous. We do it every day. We don't think, oh, I must stay in the house now forever and ever and close the borders and don't let the cars get me. You know, so the media is keeping us down there in these lower three chakras. It wants to plug us into fear every minute of the day. Hollywood tells us, you know, without these super bad guys, you know, like the Rambo type who's going to we need them to protect us from something worse. So even the heroes that are trumped up by the that was a Freudian slip, by the way, that are trumped up by Hollywood are there to emphasize that the world is a dangerous place and we can't trust love. God is love, so that means ergo we can't trust God. Now, I'm a really ordinary bloke, a bit of a fool sometimes, and during my meditation I've been given something to pass on, and my next YouTube is going to be exactly that, which is it's the Ascension meditation method that Yeshua and Leon Ha has shared with me, and I'm going to describe it next. So this is designed to be done by people. The more people that do it, the more energy of the heart chakra will be bouncing around all over the place. And I remember Maharishi saying that if 10% of the world was enlightened, the rest would just go poof, enlightened straight away, which would then mean that we're all walking around in the Christ or the Buddha consciousness or the Krishna, which the higher mind, we would become the emissaries of love on the earth. Okay, so I'm going to do that next. Namaste. Thank you for listening. Peace and love.